Welcome to the Daily Present, and it's another episode with your host, Johnny Ball. Today, I am talking about all things to do with live streaming. So, a live stream is probably a good place to be talking about live streaming, right? So, today I'm talking about live streams, all things to do with it, who should be doing it, why you should be doing live streaming, or why maybe you shouldn't be doing it. And that's what I want to get into. So, join me after the titles, and let's talk about live streaming. Welcome to the Daily Present with Johnny Ball. Monday to Friday, talking about public speaking and presentation skills and the tools of influence and persuasion. Dance along now.
Wow! Come on, can you groove along? That's it, baby. I know.
Thanks for tuning in. And so I'm talking about live streaming today, as in what is live streaming, who should be doing it, why should you be doing it? Well, perhaps that's a good place to start. Why should you be doing live streaming? What is it? In fact, before we do get into that, if you're not already following me on YouTube, please do check out my channel. It is called Present Influence. So check out that and give us a like on one of our videos, maybe this one, and subscribe to the channel. Click that bell notification to make sure you always get notified of episodes that are coming out, and also when we're streaming live as well, if you prefer to tune in through YouTube. So live streaming then, why should you even be doing it? Well, there are a number of different reasons for it, and I'm going to be referring to why particularly content creators perhaps should be thinking about this if it's a way to go. And one of the reasons why perhaps you may want to be doing live streaming is because it's a really good way to just put what's in your head out there to an audience very quickly. So doing something regularly, maybe daily, maybe not, but doing something regularly is going to allow you to have some instant connection with your audience. And there are a number of reasons why I do this as a live stream. If you have something to say, if you are a content creator, if you are doing articles, if you're putting regular information out, if you have expertise in some area, and if you want to increase engagement and interactivity with your audience, live streaming could be a really good way to go. Especially if you're comfortable on camera and if you like talking about things with people, or if you're good at just rambling on by yourself, then that could be good too. Now, for me, what has been important with live streaming is that it makes a huge difference to my workflow. I find that I can just think about what I want to say in an episode, sketch it out, and come on and talk about it. Now, I have some comfort around this. I'm probably getting more comfortable doing it. The more I do live streaming, the easier it gets. And that's probably true of just about anything, right? So the more you do it, the easier it gets. And so sometimes maybe the first few times you do it might be a bit hesitant. You might have some issues. I don't know. That's going to be up to you. But I'd say just do it anyway. Do it imperfectly. That's always going to be better than not doing it at all, or spending all your time thinking about it or trying to prepare for it. There's never going to be a good time. There's never going to be a better time than now. So just get it started, because I'm pretty sure my first live stream wasn't great. In fact, my very first ever live stream was a complete shock to me, a surprise. Someone was a guest on my show and on another podcast, and they just said, hey, let's do a live stream. So yeah, okay, I've never done one. Let's do it. And I actually really enjoyed it. And then when I started thinking about doing it for myself, I put it off for a little while. I thought, maybe I'm not going to do that. And the reasons started mounting up as to why it probably would be a good idea to be able to put out regular content, to be able to get some interaction live on air with people who may be interested in the content that I'm talking about. And beyond that as well, just to have something that actually stays up there as content on numerous channels. One of the things that you get with something like this is that depending on your service, you can broadcast your live stream to a number of online channels, and then it's there. You don't have to manually upload these things into everything. It's done. As soon as your live stream is finished, so long as you've prepared it well, then you're going to be ready to go, and you just leave it out there. You may want to, for YouTube, for example, you may want to go in and put in some keywords and things like that to tighten it up a bit. You might even probably be a good idea to put in some thumbnails as well, so make it look a bit better after the fact. But that still cleans up a lot of work for you if you're looking to put out regular content, daily or otherwise, that is going out to an audience, is going to look pretty professional and get you noticed, hopefully, as well. So one thing is you will notice at some points that people will start to even join in and interact with you. You'll see people, whether people are actually showing up on the live stream or not. And if they are, then great. And if they're not, they're going to be tuning into your videos afterwards. So just assume that they will. And that could just get it started, start talking about stuff. So what is a live stream then? Well, this is what you're potentially watching or listening to right now is the result of a live stream. So even if you're not in the live audience right now, you may be watching it as a replay, but it's being put out as a live stream. And the reason for me doing that is pretty much as I've mentioned. It allows me that opportunity to have interaction. It's a big difference to my workflow. If you are a content creator of any kind, if you're doing interviews, for example, I will put out my podcast shows whenever possible as live streams. It does take a bit of preparation and some planning, and you have to prepare your guests for that as well. Anyone you're bringing on should be prepared for that. And there are things you will need to do in order to make sure you get the best possible results when you live stream an interview with somebody. But also, if you're doing instruction, if you're teaching things, if you are putting out information or edutainment even, then it could be a really great way for you to go. If you are a public speaker, if you're an author, an expert author of nonfiction, probably more than fiction, and you are an article writer, a copywriter, this could be a really good way for you to go and just to get some engagement, some interactivity, and to get noticed. Live streaming is still becoming more and more popular, despite the fact that I think people got perhaps a bit fed up with it during lockdowns on Facebook, where places where everybody was going live all the time, and more people started doing it with time on their hands to fill time, etc., etc. There's still not that many people who are going to stick with it long term. This is much like podcasts, right? Lots of people start podcasts. Not many people keep them going long term. And that's one of the reasons why it can still be a very powerful medium to get yourself into. And the same is true of live streams. Like, who primarily uses it then? Well, I think one of the main users of live streams is probably gamers, computer gamers. And so this is something I know nothing about. Like, I stopped myself from getting into computer games when I was very young because I found them really, really addictive. And I just thought, if I do computer games, if I start letting myself get into this habit, I think I'll probably do very little else and never go out or never work on other things. If I had any idea back then that you could actually make a career out of video games and gaming, maybe I would have made some different choices. But who knows? Nonetheless, I'm happy with the decisions I made. But a lot of gamers will use this and they will actually put out their gameplay live and have people interacting with them as well and talking about their processes, going through. It's a great way to promote things, and it's been very effectively used. Some better by some than most. There are some very well-known live streaming gamers out there who are putting out some good content. And if you are a gamer, if you're interested in that, you'll probably find some that you like. Maybe you already know a few of them. But it's also a really good educational tool. And there are different ways. Look, there's so many different ways of doing this. You can do short form content. You can do longer form content. So, general advice seems to be to aim for around 10 minutes of content, although I have a feeling I'm going to go a little bit over that today. But I'm going to try and keep myself a bit more concise here as we go into this. But really, anyone with expertise or anyone who wants to entertain, anyone who feels like they would benefit from putting out live streaming content should think about doing it and give it a go. So let's talk about who does live streaming, but let's talk about how to live stream. So how to do it is there's a number of different ways and different channels to do it. And so some of the most well-known, the one I use is called Restream. So Restream is a very well-known restreaming platform that I record live through into Restream, and it broadcasts out. In fact, Restream, just to give you a bit more information, Restream actually allows you to live stream to up 30 or more social media platforms. So you can really get a lot of bang for your buck with Restream, whereas some of the plans on other networks don't allow you to do that so easily. And you can use things like Ecamm Live, but I don't think Ecamm Live really allows you to stream to more than one channel at a time. I could be wrong about that, but my experience has been that you have to select which channel you want to broadcast to. I think OBS, which is more of a PC platform, similar to Ecamm, but for PC, will allow you to stream perhaps to more than one channel. So that could be worth checking out. I think you can get it for free, but if you want to do any of the advanced stuff, you will need to pay for a subscription to them. There are some that allow you to do, particularly to do live streaming to channels like TikTok and Instagram. And there's a channel called Loola TV, Loola Lula TV, that will allow you, and I think you can get so many minutes free as well, to do live stream to those channels. But most of the major restreamers like Restream and StreamYard, which is one that I have used before and is very, very easy to use in comparison perhaps to Restream, which is great, but maybe has a few more bells and whistles on it that you might need to familiarize yourself with. StreamYard is very much plug and play and simple to use. There are sometimes some technical challenges with streaming, and you will need to make sure you have the right equipment to do this. You will at very least need a webcam and a microphone. It doesn't have to be super high quality, but it should be something that is serviceable and watchable and listenable. You don't need to have all the fancy bells and whistles. You don't need to have all the videos and music and all this. Really just get started and start doing your live stream. You can build all that stuff in later on. But this does also allow you to stay very topical on things that might be going on, even something that may be just happening. You might have just got some news that something in your industry or something relevant to what you often talk about or create content around has happened, and you can go straight on and live stream about it and be one of the first people out there getting that stuff out there. And with Restream, you can be doing that to multiple channels all in one go, which is very advantageous, rather than perhaps just republishing stuff and putting it through a bot to publish it through to all your networks. Now, there are different ways to live stream as well. So when it comes to when to do it, I'd say pick a regular schedule for yourself, much like anything else. If you're going to do podcasting, you maybe want to do once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week. Some people do every day. And what I do with this particular live stream, I repurpose it. I repurpose it as a podcast as well. So it goes out on those channels as well. Hopefully just a bit of extra reach that you might not otherwise get, but also shorter form content like this can go very well in podcasts, and more podcasts are moving towards this vodcast kind of way. I think we might even end up calling them vodcasts at some point in the future, but that's where things are heading, that people want the video as well as the audio, even though they're often watching or listening to podcasts on the go. Sometimes you still want to see what's going on, or you still want to be able to demonstrate something or see who's actually talking, and it seems that things will head more this way as well. So we're going to see a lot more people creating content, but the people who are getting stuff out there now, the people who are starting their podcast, starting their live streams, you are going to have a big advantage still, because there's still a lot of people who can't do that. Now, if your ideal audience, if your target market is on LinkedIn, for example, LinkedIn is, I think, the only platform that you have to apply to be able to live stream. Now, I have applied. This is why I'm able to live stream on LinkedIn now. I got accepted. I had a bit of help for how to do that. And I will talk a bit later in the week about some of the strategies that may help you to get LinkedIn live if you're looking to do that. But I would say, one piece of advice for you that you could probably do right now is make sure you are publishing video content onto your LinkedIn profile as well as your other social media platforms. That's going to help you. And I'll talk a bit more about that a bit later on in the week. So this week is all about live streaming. But look, if you want to get started with your own live stream, my recommended channel is going to be Restream for you, because it gives you so much more bang for your buck. You can get your streams out to multiple social media channels, and you can repurpose them really easily. You can easily download audio and video from them. It stores them for multiple days on their system, so it's not taking up space on yours. I will recommend a bit later in the week as well how I edit and process my shows, and to repurpose them as well for particular content. But if you want to try out Restream, use the link in the notes. So it's on the screen here for you, but you probably won't be able to click on that. If you go through to the description, the episode description, which will be on whatever channel you're on, and click on the link, and you can go and get a $10 Restream credit after your first live stream. And why not come back and let me know how it goes? Or if you want help putting your first live stream together, drop me a line and I'll see if I can help you get started. Let me know what you need, and let's get you started with live streaming if it's right for you. So I hope that's been useful for you. And if you've been thinking about live streaming at all, then my recommendation is to just get started and start doing it today, and go and click on the link and just give it a go. Think about something you want to talk about for a few minutes and ramble on. Don't drivel on too much. Plan it out a little bit. Think about it before you start your live stream, and then give it a go. So once again, if you're looking to check out Livestream and give it a try, then go and visit Restream.io. Use the link in the description, whatever channel you're watching this on, and you'll get your $10 Restream credit when you do your first stream. All right, that's pretty much it for today. But remember, live streaming is the topic for all of this week. So if that's interesting to you, make sure you tune in every day. Make sure you subscribe to the show or check out the shows as we repeat. And I'll see you again next time. Right now, time to get to work. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe. And make sure you follow me on social media. Check out my other shows, Speaking of Influence and Points of Change. And wherever you are, have an amazing day. Time to get back to work.